Today is Shushan Purim. And while we don't have the zchut to live in Yerushalayim and therefore have already completed our Purim celebrations, Shushan is still on our minds. Shushan of today is located in Iran, in the modern city of Shush, which was built over the ruins of the ancient city of Susa, or Shushan. And at Susa, there have been great archaeological excavations which have uncovered, among other things, the palace of Achashverosh. Now, the story of Megillat Esther takes place in the city of Shushan, the capital of the Persian Empire. But interestingly, the Megillah refers to the city in two different ways. Sometimes it refers to the city as Shushan Habiram. Asher b'Shushan Habiram, Shushan, the capital or the fortified city. Other times, the city is simply called Shushan or Air Shushan, the city of Shushan. This distinction between the two names, the two ways we refer to the city, is especially pronounced in the famous pasuk in the middle of the Megillah, where we find both references. Haratzim yatzu dechufim bidvar hamelech v'hadat nitna b'Shushan Habiram. The runners left quickly with the royal edict, and the law was issued in Shushan, the capital. V'hamelech v'Haman yashvu lishtod v'ha'ir Shushan nevocha. While the king and Haman sat down to drink, and the city of Shushan was confounded. In a single pasuk, we find the city referred to in two different ways. Harav Ruvain Margoliot Zatzal, the great scholar, Rav, and librarian of the Rambam Library in Tel Aviv during the 20th century, wrote in his work Olalot that this phenomena of talking about two different cities, in essence, has its roots in a comment of the Ibn Ezra, the beginning of Megillat Esther in Pasuk Bet, and it's based, he said, on archaeological findings, where he asserts that the Persian government sat within a fortified city of its own, the Shushan Habira, whereas there was another city, the city outside of those walls, the residential city of Shushan Ha'ir Shushan. And therefore, when the Megillah refers to Shushan Habira, it refers to the government complex that constituted its own town. And thus, for example, the second pasuk in the Megillah tells that Achashverosh's throne was located in Shushan Habira, whereas the term Ha'ir Shushan refers to the residential area where ordinary Persian citizens lived. Rav Margoliot goes even further with this theory to explain a number of psukim throughout the Megillah. For example, when we're introduced to Mordechai, we talk about Ish Yehudi, a Jewish man lived in Shushan Habiran. His name was Mordechai. According to that location, it means, said Rav Margoliot, and there are other proofs as well, that Mordechai had an important government position where he lived literally in the governmental district of Shushan. Or earlier in that pasuk I quoted that Shushan Habira and also Ha'ir Shushan are quoted. It means that first the decree was established in the government area, and then as the news spread to the residential districts, there the Jews were confounded. In fact, we find one more place, very, very important to us, in Perek Tet of the Megillah Pasuk Vav, where after the first day of the war, on the 13th of Adar, we read that the Jewish army killed 500 men b'Shushan Habiram. But Esther asked for additional time to be able to continue the war in Shushan, not Shushan Habiram. What must have happened, therefore, according to this position, was that the first day of the war, the Jews defeated the enemies within the government complex. But Esther saw the need, the danger still exists for the Jews to be able to attack their enemies for one more day in the residential, the general city of Shushan. There's a difference between Ha'ir Shushan and Shushan Habira, and that difference helps us understand not only this day, but also the explanation of what happens in our own Megillat Esther.